Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, our first stream of the week, brought to you by BB. Reminder that there is no second best live YouTube stream to talk about markets. Welcome back, guys. I hope we had a great Labor Day weekend, staying safe, hopefully not getting liquidated in these wild intraday price swings. Although I will say, I mean, things have kind of calmed down a little bit since we marked up a few weeks ago. Obviously, the question that we're all asking is, are we about to continue marking up? Are we about to range? Or are we about to, maybe look at some downside price action? We will discuss on today's show. But first, I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Tucker, Prometheus, and of course, Max. Welcome to you guys. Before we can start talking about price, before we can start talking about Bitcoin, ETH, equities, maybe any other tickers that you want us to take a look at, I think you know the drill by now. You know what I'm about to ask you. You can hit that like button for us. I mean, let's run it up on today's show. Like I said, we didn't have a stream on Monday. We didn't have a stream yesterday. So why not sandwich two shows worth of likes into one? Fair trade. We'll do our best to sandwich two shows worth of alpha into this one as well. But yeah, I hope we all had a great holiday weekend. The markets have been kind of just ranging since we marked up. I know Bitcoin's been bleeding. A few altcoins have been bleeding. SOL has been grinding up towards the highs. Is that an asset that we're about to see break out and mark up? I will say, locally speaking, kind of feel like the SOL ETH local top could be in. I know it's up like 10 or 15% off the lows. There's a lot of excitement around SOL's resurgence. I do think that refractory period is probably going to require a little bit more time before we see more meaningful outperformance. But could that also just be a sign that ETH is potentially about to put in a green meat stick to the upside? I think both are plausible scenarios. Why not both? Why not both? But ETH seems to be the strongest horse this morning. Really, over the last few days, we've kind of been, I feel like, alternating between what the strongest major is. On Monday, I think it was Bitcoin. Yesterday, it was SOL. Today, it's ETH. We love symmetry, right? So who is going to lead the way coming out, or rather, coming into the end of the week? I guess that's TBD. But right now, we can see some strength under ETH. Kind of feel like that will continue. It will be largely correlated ultimately with this bid that we see on equities. And something I kind of prospected or proposed last week was, okay, well, what if we sweep the ETH highs early next month? And that was obviously in August. It's September 3rd now. So are we about to see that sweep of the ETH highs? Are we about to break down from this pattern? Again, these are questions that we're going to answer on today's stream. I think there are some good-looking altcoins out there as well, of course. I mean, there always are, right? There's always some action somewhere in crypto. And of course, we've got some action on some SOL altcoins now finally as well, or rather some large cap SOL altcoins like Pump Token. We'll be discussing those as well. But how are we doing, guys? How was our weekend? Did we spend the holiday productively with family? And of course, what are our thoughts on the market?
I mean, I had a great holiday. It was, college football is back in action, so that's lovely. I know I don't have to tell you about that, Tommy. So, it was great. It was great. And today is the last night without NFL football, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, because tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. Tomorrow. For the next 6 months. So that is quite exciting. No, but yeah, I like how you pointed out that different majors were leading, because I was looking yesterday and SOL was looking fantastic and ETH and Bitcoin weren't doing much. And now, like you said, ETH is leading. So I don't know. I'm kind of fine if Bitcoin kind of continues to mess around down here and you see ETH and SOL recover in a big way. I mean, ETH looks actually pretty great. Just something like that, but it's still early. I would like to see this thing stick the landing above 4,500, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if the lows are in, then we would have set the lows on the first day of the month, which obviously would be ideal. We do have rate that's coming in 2 weeks probably. So I don't know. I still think we're gonna have volatility in the month of September. I don't think we're just gonna, blast off vertically from here. Even if we have to, do something like that, right? But we'll see. I think things look good. I think probably Sol ETH and Sol Bitcoin and ETH Bitcoin continue to trend up over the next couple quarters. Not that we can't see a little pop in Bitcoin dominance, all right? I think we definitely can, but in general, this is a pretty significant downtrend that I would expect that reaction from 60% if we get there. So, yeah, I still think we have a pretty good setup in front of us. I think TradFi is doing well too. I mean, IWM is following the plan, it appears. Is actually stronger than SPX and QQQ the other day, which was very interesting, but kind of just similar patterns getting printed on, major TradFi indices over and over again, right? Which is where it can kind of look distributive, and then it just keeps going up. And then at some point you'll have a correction, but it's really not shown in the chart until it's almost too late, right? I mean, you had like this high sweep, but at any rate, I think TradFi still has room to climb into rate cuts, so especially small caps. So, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts for now. What do you guys think about ETH and Sol here?
Sol ETH local top.
Yeah, I could see it. Kind of coming up into that supply region. I still think I'm very, very bullish. I did a cook session this morning in the Discord in regards to altcoins. Structurally, they look really sound. We're coming down into what I believe to be key support levels. As long as Bitcoin can hold this 108, 107 level, I don't see any reason why we don't shape up really nicely heading into Q4. I've said that. I also stated, if you look at the USDC dominance and USDT dominance pair, I could see it potentially going a little bit higher up into the supply region. But you look at volatility structure, still very much in an overall downtrend. I do like to see that pop that we saw yesterday out of volatility. That is, it's very healthy for the market. We talk about the offloading of risk that occurs. It incentivizes longs to come back into the market. It gives more upside, and it allows for more expansionary moves in the broader market, which I really love to see. I get it. We're coming into kind of September, quote unquote seasonality. And after what we've seen the past 2 years, the markets have very much so conditioned the market participants into believing that we're going to be getting, super nasty price action. And I'm just seeing a lot of confluence across the board that's kind of showing us that we're shaping up, this bottom that I believe to be forming heading into Q4. And if you can really identify the market trends moving forward, I think you're going to do very, very, very well. Talk about RWA now kicking off on Solana with the whole Pokemon card narrative. RWA is all that. Is it the strongest of narratives? I don't think it is, but I like to see that narrative taking shape on Sol because it's something that we haven't seen thus far this cycle, right? Sol's been so casino focused, so focused on the gambling mentality that the maturity, what I believe to be maturity showing now from that kind of RWA side on Sol, it's very, very bullish. So some things that I'm looking at in the market that I like. I think Sol looks, Max talked about it this morning, it's going one of either ways. It's going to 150 or you're going to see a big breakout up into 240. So overall, I just structurally, I think things look pretty good. I think things look really good, actually. I there's a lot of puzzle pieces that are fitting together that are telling us, the markets are heading higher.
Yeah, SOL looks great here, man. I mean, this just like grind up into value area high is nice. And once you get through there, there's pretty much nothing. Like if you want to go just based on volume, like you got a little node here, you could say, but besides that, I mean, there's nothing. Like we talked about, like SOL is next for all-time highs. Like it's up to bat. So what is that?
I will say I felt better about that thesis going into the weekend than I do now in regards to SOL.
Explain that.
I was looking for a more impulsive move around value area high on SOL than what we've seen.
What, just because we rejected it right here at 220?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of feels less like the slow grind that I want along and more like the slow grind that's kind of baiting in liquidity. But I don't want to be like too married to that bias.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get anything like this, you're not long. I like that. Yeah.
What's interesting too is the move that we had on the grind up into these levels were done so in the face of a lot of weakness by Bitcoin and ETH. And now that we're seeing strength, particularly out of Ethereum today, and a little bit out of Bitcoin, and now SOL is lagging a little bit. We'll kind of see yesterday, if you were paying attention to, kind of intraday price action yesterday, SOL was underperforming at the beginning of the day and then had a really strong catch-up trade in the close. So we'll see if that kind of shapes up into the end of today as well, if we continue to show strength in the market.
Well, I do think, you have Pump Fund token, which does look pretty strong. It obviously needs to break above the high that it set 2 weeks ago or like 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure the exact date, for a much larger rip. But, I think that I think Pump against SOL at the very least looks bullish. For me, the reason I'm kind of skeptical about like a super impulsive move coming for SOL from this juncture is just because I think SOL ETH has locally topped and that you're probably going to see it retrace back to the local lows. I don't think you're going to make new lows on the pair, but I do think that you're probably down to revisit like 10% lower on SOL ETH. And if that's the case, unless ETH is about to like go to 7 or 8K,
well, Tommy.
I kind of think that you're going to see SOL fail to break out here.
I think
more on SOL ETH.
I think SOL ETH looks actually pretty decent here. Yeah, we'll see how it kind of reacts around this level that we're coming into right now. A little bit of a potential loss of demand region now turned into supply. We'll see if it flips it to SR, flips the SR. So I'm interested. I'm really, really interested to see kind of how we behave where we're at right now. I would like to see equities behave, I will say. I really, really would.
I still think we got to take that stroll on the VIX at some point this month.
We left that gap, Tommy. I'm so annoyed. There's that little gap right above us. So annoying.
I feel like it makes sense for the VIX to come down more. And I think that will co-align with ETH running the previous month highs. But that for me is going to be kind of decision time. Is this going to be a real breakout, or am I looking at potentially a really juicy short into the middle of the month?
We did leave that gap, Max.
This dude is so annoying. I just wanted to get it over with, fill that thing, and then just crush it back to like 12. But
we got to 19.5, didn't get to 20 to close it. That is tragic.
Did we partially fill it at all?
No,
not really.
No.
Yeah.
A good
shame. Such a shame.
We got so close. I mean, look at this. That would have partially filled it. Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy, I like your thesis here. I mean, definitely like the unwind in volatility that we saw yesterday. I could see definitely a larger move up. Region that I'm definitely targeting if we get the move up into it. If we get a move up into 23 to 25, that is your like generational bottom going into Q4. That's definitely a target that I'm looking at. And structurally, if you look at the VIX pre-April, it was in a structural uptrend versus where we're at now is very much so in that structural downtrend. And I really think rips are to be faded. I want to emphasize that. We talk about midterms next year. We talk about a lot of, key kind of pieces of the puzzle for Trump and his admin, kind of what that means, trying to take a lot of the seats. The list goes on and on and on.
I have some thoughts about midterms. I'm not going to give them though.
I know your thoughts.
I don't know if you do.
I don't.
Maybe I'm
talking as it relates to markets or no?
I don't. It's not as it relates to markets, which is why I'm not giving my thoughts.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, look at that structural difference.
What, in the VIX?
So pre-April, yeah. And I remember when we were in ETH Denver, and I was like heavy short quantum at the time, and I kept telling the guys quantum to zero. But what tipped me was that structural uptrend. If you look at the lows on VIX leading up into the big April blow off,
yeah,
it was just churning higher. Yeah. And it was just asking for an unwind. And now we're in a completely different camp, completely different regime. And rips, like I said, up into that supply of like 22 to 25, they are going to sell every little bit of that vol. So
I hate bull sellers, man.
It is what
I really hate bull sellers. I think we punish them this month. I'm not going to lie. I think we punish people shorting bull.
There's a lot of vol sellers right now. There's a lot of them. And it's like a relatively decent strategy, like probabilistic from a probability standpoint. But the issue is like you have that one trade that goes against you and it turns out so bad, where you give back like all those returns that you've generated, over a 6-month time horizon. And then you like net, like 10%. You're like, oh, I'm like generating like 10% like biweekly. This is great. And you're like just grinding out the strategy, grinding out selling vol, and then it just blows up in your face.
You know that video of that fund manager during COVID that I can't remember how big the fund was. It was pretty big. It blew up because they were selling options during COVID.
Oh,
and the
no.
guy had to get up in front of like he recorded a video for his shareholders like, yeah, we lost everything.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Yeah. And it's I can't remember what his fund was called, but that's like one of my favorite memories from that market regime. Or maybe it was Volmageddon. I don't even remember, but I've probably seen the meme of him like about to do the video conference.
Yeah, it was probably Volmageddon because they came out with 0 DTEs, I think, around that time. And everybody's like, oh, this is so great. We can just sell weekly options and 0 DTE options and generate like 3%, daily. And so many people were doing it that it just unwind. It had a huge unwind. Max, why do people say we would be twins? Somebody just said, Prometheus, if you shaved your head, you'd be Max's identical twin.
You'd be so fortunate.
Yeah. I don't see the resemblance. Like, I'm like the like Swedish, pale, Scandinavian.
I don't really see it either, but to be fair, the comment section has no idea what I look like because they've named like 3 or 4 actors, and I'm like, we're not even in like the ballpark, I don't think. I mean, I clearly look like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and they think I look like Fassbender, you know?
Did you guys see he slimmed down?
He did. He lost
instead of being 280 muscle, he's only 245 muscle now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He had to come off cycle, bro. I'm sure they were like, your kidneys are about to go into failure.
Wait, why?
And he's definitely juicing.
Yeah, because I mean, when you do a lot of steroids, it's super hard on your kidneys and your liver.
There it is.
Yeah. Maximilius Aurelius Quintilius. Yeah. Yes, I am a Swedish meatball.
Sometimes.
What are your guys' thoughts here on the new SOL meta as of last night? You guys looked at that?
The Pokemon card or the
so there's
creator
cards,
capital markets thing.
There's touch. Do they even have it on here?
Yeah.
Maybe this is a good time for BB Terminal.
Wait, that's cards. No, they don't have it on here. No shot.
They don't have it.
No
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. Do I think it should be valid? Do I think it's a little bit of a grab from SOL on chain? I do. The most recent narrative from SOL before it kind of went into the depressive state it was in was the ICM meta, and obviously we talk about recency bias jumping back on what most recently pumped makes sense. A little bit of a cash grab if I were to say so, but I do like the pump.
Did they adjust the market cap?
How dare you, Skeeter? How dare you?
Because it was at like 300 mil last night when I was looking at it. Now I see the market cap's at like 60 or 70.
Yeah, they've done some numbers. They've definitely done some numbers. I think Hutch like doubled from like 9-10 o'clock last night.
I saw the Zard token, Charizard Strategic Reserve. I actually find these narratives a lot more endearing than a lot of the stuff that we've seen on Solana. Shocking, I know. The guy calls himself a Pokemon online, thinks that, but
I agree. I mean, it's speaking to our entire generation. Hutch is with CS2 skins, Counter-Strike skins. How big Pokemon is right now. I mean, that industry is blowing up. It is just on fire. Pokemon cards are, and just cards in general too, even if you enjoy regular sports cards. So I do kind of like what they're doing over there. It's a lot better than the whole pump fun narrative, we'll say.
Yeah, creator capital markets reminds me a lot of Friend Tech. I'm not going to lie. I think it's maybe a more capital efficient way of raising, but I think the end result will probably be the same for a lot of these charts. Like, why would I buy Mitch token other than just like a speculative impulse pump?
Yeah, that's what you're buying it for. You're hoping somebody buys your bag, kind of thing.
Social tokens are a very interesting conversation in crypto because it's clear that like we need a platform to be able to monetize and raise capital more efficiently, but the solutions that we've had so far just haven't been able to really like stick pumps beyond charts that would look like a shitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tucker, real quick, I want you to pull up the Coinbase chart and the Tesla chart.
Side by side.
Yeah. They don't have to be like time frame synchronized, but
Coin. Tesla.
so if you go to the daily on both.
Well, no, okay.
Whoa, look at that fractal.
We're not going that low. All right.
Yeah, you go to the daily on both. And if you zoom in to where Tesla was at like 200 to 250 at that low to where Coinbase is at right now, I think, I think we're structurally kind of in that region on Coinbase. I think Coinbase is worth a bid right now. You know, holding those lows really well, putting in really constructive price action, definitely compressing down into, you know, where we're at right now. You'd expect a big move out of Coinbase. And I think that's largely stemmed from retail kind of waking up to the fact that what Coinbase is doing right now. Like, I am super, super bullish on what Coinbase is doing from a DEX integration side of stuff, making it more seamless to buy and transact on chain. I mean, so the guy that created the intro for our newest intro for BB, I onboarded him to crypto last week, right? Or this past weekend. And all the, you know, hoops that you have to jump through for bridging, you know, onboarding, bridging, yada, 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 going to Airdrome, going to Uniswap. He was like, dude, you're going to have to walk me through that like 5 more times before I even know what I'm doing. And Coinbase making that seamless is so, so huge for the market. I think it's equivalent. I think it's the equivalent for Base as what Phantom was for Solana, actually, towards the end of 23 and all of 24. I think that Base is going to have a monster season here going into Q4.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely see the similarity in the chart, and then obviously what you were talking about with Coinbase innovating. You know what I really need Coinbase to innovate is perps in the US.
Yeah, I mean, they bought Deribit.
I know, but it still won't let you do anything.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
They're just waiting on the whole, you know, musical chairs regulation, you know, regulatory, legislative, BlackRock jargon that goes on. Just like
Are they though? Are they?
I really think so.
I think they don't want I think they're trying to undermine a lot of the regulatory things that we're trying to pass, Coinbase specifically. They've been very sneaky about that through lobbying.
And crime strong.
Because to change the regulatory regime would create competition for Coinbase's business domestically.
Yeah.
Well, I think Gemini's and Kraken are their only competition, really, and Gemini's IPOing. Like,
when are they IPOing?
Like, they might have. Look at my thing. They sent an email about it.
When are we getting the Kraken IPO?
That's a good question, because they've been marketing like a madman. I see their advertisements everywhere.
Who, Kraken? Yeah, I know. That needs to happen.
They're listing Chill House. Such a pandering move.
They are seeking a $2.2 billion valuation for their IPO. Gemini.
That's actually pretty cheap.
That's very cheap. That's very cheap.
I mean, what did Circle trade to?
I can
know it's not quite the same thing, but
let's
not.
see. What was it in market cap?
Circle was like 60 bill. No, more than that. It was like 65, 70 bill at its high, at its peak.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why Kraken can't trade comparably to that.
Wait.
Or at least
Well,
like
if we
half
look
of
at
it.
Yeah, and Coinbase right now is at 80. So, I mean, it wouldn't be hard to say that if it IPOs at 2.2, I mean, that's a free like 5x at least, at minimum.
Okay.
You'd think.
Market. Yeah, they don't have it on here yet. They launched their IPO today, though.
Really?
Who, Kraken?
No, Gemini.
What is Gemini at?
Ticker is GEMI, but it's not. I don't know if it's actually public yet. You know, like it's not pulling up on trading. Let's see.
I agree. Kraken is better than Coinbase. Just my personal opinion. They don't have the same volumes, if I had to guess. Not anymore, but from like a experience standpoint, I much prefer using Kraken.
Mm-hmm.
Just altcoin liquidity is it's not great, but at least you're not getting destroyed by fees like you do on Coinbase.
Biggest comment. Zuck just shorting Gemini out of spite. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do we? Maybe Circle's a buy here, though.
I think Circle's a buy here. I've been looking at it.
Maybe I haven't looked at it in a few months, but
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a buy anywhere, it's a buy here. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I agree.
people have pretty much forgotten about it too. So
Is it still trading like super negatively correlated to ETH? It
Yeah.
looks like.
correlated to ETH. Yeah, it does.
They're like this topped and then ETH started to rip.
Yeah.
I think more so too. I take less signal out of the fact that I wouldn't say I take a lot of signal out of the fact that they're, inversely correlated most recently.
We inversely correlated, like to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not taking a ton of signal out of it. And the reason why is because that IPO was mania. Like mania. It's the best IPO in 6 years.
What about Figma?
Figma.
Didn't that do pretty well?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ligma.
I set that one up.
No, Ligma looks horrid.
I'm not. I can't. Walking right into it.
I think Circle's a good buy here. I've been really contemplating adding here. Was very upset I faded the IPO, but like I said, with the IPO being the best one, being the best one the past 5-6 years, who's gonna come out, and especially after the Coinbase IPO, and ape Circle like they did. Apparently, some people did, right? And that was around the time that BitMine and Tom Lee started talking a lot about stable coins and all that jazz. But I'm glad I did not buy the top on that, like a lot of people did, right? Let it cool off, let it come back down, and then fill up some bags.
Yeah, I knew this would be topped. Of course I bought puts that were just like way too early. That's how I usually how things usually go. But I'm not surprised to see Circle do this. I mean, whenever you see a TradFi stock run up that quickly, it typically does come back down to earth eventually.
It is gold.
Gold new all-time high.
You get on the chart. Wait.
What is interesting to me today is that Bitcoin is green, but MicroStrategy is red.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know you know the implications of that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is selling MSTR stock to buy Bitcoin.
Who could it be, Tommy? Who could it be that's doing that? I am lost. Please explain it to me. Who is the seller?
I wish I could post a picture of Michael Saylor with like a mustache.
Am I conspiracy theorist to suggest that maybe, just maybe, he knows that he doesn't care about his company at all, and he's fully like all right losing the company years from now as long as he gets to keep the 5% of the Bitcoin supply that he ends up accumulating before then?
I don't think that's completely far-fetched.
No, I don't either.
Just a little bit.
How would that happen where MicroStrategy goes insolvent and they keep the stack?
Maybe he's removed or something, or maybe I don't know how they have it structured, but I'm just like, it's having a parasitic effect late cycle, you know? In the beginning of the cycle, it's great, but towards the end of the cycle, you have to keep selling shares to buy more Bitcoin, which sends the stock price down. But the Bitcoin stack goes up. I don't know. I just am a little. I just think there's like, I think there's another motive that maybe isn't as out in the open yet that will become more clear in like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I think it is apparent that he gives, zero, what's about his stock price versus getting to that, that round number he wants to get to of the Bitcoin supply,
I mean, he could just be somebody who is like, yeah, I want 5% of the Bitcoin supply, or like, yeah, I want 10%. I don't even care about the price. I don't care about my stock. And I will not say that will insulate him from market volatility, but he could just be one of those people that wants a certain number of tokens. I don't think that the MicroStrategy unwind is going to be like 2022, though. I don't see why it would be as orderly and slow. That's just kind of my personal speculation. I've kind of messaged with Prometheus about this a few times, but yeah, I just don't really see why MicroStrategy would unwind as calmly as it did in 2022, and there's a lot more inherent leverage built in their company.
Well, Tommy, what if he does this? What if he continues selling MicroStrategy to buy Bitcoin, and then once he's done, takes it private, fires everyone, and kees all the Bitcoin?
That would be an.
That would be. He's going to get sued into oblivion by shareholders, but like, yeah.
I guess that's true. Yeah, do that.
Yeah, you're right. And the whole time he's driving MicroStrategy stock down and their valuation, making it cheaper for him to buy everybody out.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, no, that's a bad idea. Can't do that.
Yeah, no, he will be sued into oblivion if he tries to do that. But
this is a great question. What do they even do?
It's just
they sell bonds that basically represent short Bitcoin volatility.
No, they have like analytics software.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it figures out like structure and efficiency and stuff like that. It's like Palantir, but not the deep state.
Careful, Prometheus. They're listening.
Always.
The deep state.
They probably are like listening algorithmically or something.
Oh yeah.
be honest.
That
Hey, the
movie,
deep state
Elon.
wants their crypto alpha too, bro. Why should the deep state not be allowed to get their BB alpha? You know, I'm all for it.
Looking at gold, huh?
Just keeps going, man. Just
Gold
keeps
Bitcoin
going.
looks very, very bullish.
Yeah, gold looks fantastic. I know there's a lot of fears in the macro with the macro boys that yields over 5% is not good. I don't know
I
what
love
that
macro.
means.
Is that real?
It's the best.
I don't know what that means, but yes, they're like, things
No,
are
I mean
gonna
this
fall.
chart.
Oh, no,
Well,
the chart's not.
All my boys love macro.
Are we sure that's not real?
Wait, Prometheus, what they say? Yields over 5% is bad? Is that what?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pretend to know what it means and the implications and the, string theory, physic, intertwined 0.0001% probability outcome. But
Wait, are you talking about the 10-year? What are you talking about?
Look at move.
yeah,
Look at
Huh?
move.
Move.
Bond vol. I noticed that yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
mm,
Not that I have like a super strong take on this.
I mean, it looks okay. I mean, I'm on the 5.
Like it bounced at a spot where it should bounce.
Yeah, I agree. Let's look at like the 10-year. Does it look
I have
like
to say, treasuries don't look so hot.
this looks like it's about to drop, Tommy? Do you not agree? This looks
I agree, but then I look at bonds and they still look terrible to me. Like TLT.
yeah, the move should bounce right here.
move will bounce, but that doesn't tell me which direction TLT is going, unfortunately.
Down. There's only one direction that chart goes.
Oh, bro, it's going this way.
No, I know.
Just because of the 10-year, though.
What's that trademark pattern that we we filed for?
The limp meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, this is about to resolve the downside.
I kind of feel like TLT is going to make new lows. I thought that for a long time, and it's just kind of sat here for a while.
Dude, it is the most textbook accumulation I've probably ever seen.
TLT.
Yes.
Looks
Yeah.
like it needs a deviation.
Nah,
And then
deviation.
One more sweep.
Just
I think you get one more sweep here. Gonna make
Man,
me
I'm
look
just like, the RR in that chart for me is up, right?
I mean, yeah. You'd think. Unless you've had a complete regime shift and bonds are just no longer valuable, which it
Well,
and nobody wants US bonds anymore. Oh wait, that's true.
wait.
Now I feel like 78, 79 on TLT can still happen. Probably close to 79. Do I know the driver? Of course not. Of course not. Every time somebody asks me when I send a fractal, like what would cost that, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know.
Literally me yesterday. It's like, so what do you think happens?
What do you guys think of like the title of the stream today? Red September or things are kind of looking good to me, you know, like I can see Bitcoin dinking around towards the lows again, not calling for a sweep of the lows. Just let me be super clear. I would never do that. Even if I thought it was going to happen, I would convince myself that it wasn't. But I think Bitcoin could certainly hold here, around here. SOL looks pretty good to me. At this point, I'm not leaning towards a rinse. I may switch up on that soon. I will get back to you. But I feel like fading the September faders that's probably going to be a pretty good call, honestly.
I would like to see us take out every ETH shortstop and then reevaluate.
By reevaluate, he means go down viciously.
Tommy, are you looking for an event again?
Well,
I will not be answering that question.
object
But
tree.
I don't have nearly as much confidence that we could have an event as I did like last summer, just because some of the reasons we've already pointed out. Like the VIX is in a downtrend, so you know it's not really as constructive for the type of move that we had last August. But I do kind of like bidding volatility here, and I think there are some cheap puts that you can take advantage of. And kind of coming into the month, my bias was, okay, well, sweep the ETH highs and then rinse the leverage. Maybe that is to like 4K, maybe it's deeper. Who knows? I mean, you never know with these sell-offs. It's always about, once they get going, how strong is the momentum?
So Tommy's looking for this. That's what I'm hearing.
Tommy wants an event. He might get one. We'll see.
Slow climb and then a sweep and then a
Elliott Wave 5.
Elliott Wave 5.
Wave 5.
I finished Louis' meat stick meter, boys. It's unreal. It might be my favorite script yet.
Hell yeah.
Nice. So, I mean, Tommy, I got a question for you. If you're expecting potentially a mid-September event, we'll call it, how does that shape up if we see a blowout of all these shorts? Then, like, how would that resolve from now to then mid-September to then like bullish Q4? I have a hard time seeing that on the chart.
I think, one of two things is probably going to happen over the next few weeks. It's like we're either chopping, and if we are just going sideways, I think into October, then it's going to screaming buy. You're going to melt up in Q4 as we see equity programs kind of rebalance and re-leverage into the end of the year, because the bullish seasonality for Q4 is real. I know everybody wants to question or like doesn't know about seasonality this year, but I think if we are still ranging by Q4, we are going to melt up. But I think if we have a larger wipe, a larger event, we'll call it, it would look a lot like last August, where you still have a bullish Q4. Maybe it takes a little bit, like a few more extra weeks to recover than it would if you didn't. But I don't think the end result is really that different.
Yeah. So this is something you're looking for here, Tommy?
Not really, but
More or less.
Lower.
Lower?
No, I don't really see like a reason to. I don't think. Oh God, I don't think we're getting like an October top. Or a September top or a November top. I'm just not buying into that camp. So I think if you're going sideways into Q4, it's going to be like probably a middle of 2026 top or like Q1 2026 top.
I think Bitcoin personally tops out probably at the end of this year, and you see a big move in alts, some form of pullback towards the beginning of next year, and then an alt dominated market sometime mid next year, and then like get out of the market 2026 at some point.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would like an extended top into 2026, but I think it depends where we are in Q4. I think we're just gonna have to kind of feel it out. You know, if Bitcoin's like at 180 and ETH is at 8K in like December. You know,
Run.
It might be, you know, but yeah, we'll just have to see.
No, so Brian, I don't subscribe to this idea at all. And the reason why I don't subscribe to that thesis, I talked about it this morning. Institutions are coming for altcoins. This whole idea that Bitcoin and ETH are like the only, decent tech to come out of this industry and sector is so nearsighted and so ill-informed, right? You talk about Jamie Dimon 2 weeks before the BTC ETF going live on CNBC at 6 o'clock in the morning saying Bitcoin's a bunch of garbage and we would never buy it. And then 2 weeks later, lo and behold, the ETFs get approved. And, then thereafter that, him coming out saying that they'd be looking into releasing a product because they don't want you to invest outside of their vehicles because they make money if you invest in their vehicles, right? And so if there's money to be made, which there is, you talk about a whole new generation that has more financial literacy than any generation previously. Where are they going to invest at? They're going to be investing in a MetaMask and a Phantom wallet. It just is what it is. So if there's money to be made, they're probably going to be putting investment vehicles together, products together that they can make money off of that's derived from some form of altcoins. Do I know what those altcoins are? We could probably take a guess. XRP, Link, Doge, ADA, maybe even Hype. We'll see about that. But ones that are kind of paying to play. And that shift of, market understanding and narrative, similar to what we just had from ETH at 1300, it's cooked, it's going to zero. There's no tech in this industry to now it's the greatest product in crypto. It's going to flip Bitcoin, yada, yada, yada. The same thing's going to happen for altcoins. There's a level of suppression, in my opinion, that's occurring for a reason. Because they have a business to run and they're going to make sure that they run it as well as they can. And how do they do that? They make sure that you invest with them. So it's really only a matter of time that I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with my guns on that is coming. Do I know from a timing perspective when it's going to be? I don't. But I think, and if you look at a lot of these ETFs that they put out, I mean, you look at these garbage ETFs that are not crypto ETFs, and then you go, oh yeah, they have no problem. They'll have no problem listing some of these shitcoin ETFs, right? There's like 13 wave cycle ETF you can invest in, short inverted cow futures ETF, like.
Hey, that's
crazy.
my core holding. Take it easy.
Yeah. Sorry. So, I mean, my thesis is there will be an alt season. It'll be bigger than one we've ever seen before. From a timing perspective, that's the hard part in deciphering, but understanding the broader thesis is very important, right? Very, very important.
Yeah, I think ETH Bitcoin will eventually make new all-time highs, but it's not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen in a day.
And then you talk about not happening in a day. I think that's something that the market's kind of really gotten misconstrued this cycle. And I think we're shifting more back towards that like investment style thesis rather than, you know, just throw whatever you can at whatever's hottest on the scanner and try to get out with, you know, a few multiples. So
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep saying I think everybody wants a big pump to F off and go live their life. And unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna happen.
no.
It's gonna happen.
Never, Tommy. Never gonna happen.
It will happen, but again, it doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen in a day.
Just send Pepe to 50 billion already.
Max is like, I want to retire.
I could never retire because I actually really love what I do, but winter puke is pissing me off right now. Let the frog go. Unleash him. It'll happen.
Yeah, good old winter mute. Always trading the highest volume coins. Never go up. Why is that?
Who knows?
We know the answer. That was a rhetorical question. Don't let winter mute market make your tokens if you want it to go up.
No.
Unless you
I
buy
do
them
think
early enough.
To some
Let them
extent.
hit their strike price, you know. Give them something really far out of the money. Let them launch it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, winter
Manish,
mute is basically behind the USD thing going on Binance, but we won't discuss that.
yeah. Manish, what I mean by an alt season is everybody's super focused on last cycle's chart in regards to total 3, total 2, just how the broader altcoin sector behaved in that very short period of time. And like I said, I think it's going to shift more towards like an investment style thesis and prolonged shift in understanding of what altcoins are and what they're going to do. Really, for like crypto is the future. It is like whether people want to believe it or not. We're very, very early in what this tech can do. And there's a long, prolonged period of integration that happens after the discovery phase. And after you have that integration, you then have the Amazon moments, you have the Google moments, you have the Apple moments, you have the Meta moments. It's only a matter of time, and it takes time, right? And the biggest companies in the world were not built in a day, right? It took, you know, decades to get to where they're at now. So
Yeah, I think we're early to the adoption cycle. Obviously, we're not early to the speculative cycle of crypto at this point, but that's not to say that a speculative cycle isn't going to come out of the adoption cycle. And I do think that when we hit that part of the cycle, for one, you're not going to be asking if it's cycle top. You're not going to be even thinking about it. That's usually when the cycle top will be fairly close, but like, I don't know. That's my thoughts. I think we're in an adoption cycle that's eventually going to lead to speculative mania, but you're probably not early to crypto as a speculative asset.
no, not one bit. That was last cycle.
Mm-hmm. God, last cycle was great.
Yeah, last cycle was the discovery bubble. Everybody found out what crypto was, right? And now everybody's about to find out what it can do.
I still think we're years away from it actually doing anything, if I'm being honest. Like,
It's going to take time. Yeah, it's going to take time.
I still think you're like late stage speculation. I mean, man, how much of this stuff actually does anything? You know? Yeah, like there's a handful that do, but most don't do anything. And they have crazy valuations because nobody knows how to value it. I kind of think we're still like in our .com bubble. Hard to know exactly where we are within it. But it's the same as these internet companies, man. It's like, how do you value AskJeeves.com? I don't know. Like, it seemed hot at the moment, then it went to crap. You know, that's what's gonna happen with a lot of these like utility crypto projects. They all seem promising now. They've all got huge valuations. They've all raised a lot of money. But who's going to actually deliver on it? We're going to end up having our Mag 7 of crypto, right? It's going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be ETH. It's going to be SOL. It's going to be XRP, BNB. And then there's probably going to be like 5 or 10 more that stick. And the rest are going to be garbage, you know? But we're like half a decade away from that, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree.
I can tell here in the US, I can go to Starbucks and buy an egg sandwich and a tall black coffee with any shitcoin I want. We're early. I will not relent on that point.
Yeah, that's fair.
That is.
I mean, on a relative basis, like markets as a whole are worth what, $500 trillion? I mean, how long until some of that gets more allocated to crypto? I do think that will occur over the next few years.
Well, a big part is like a generational difference. Like we had a fantasy football draft over the weekend, right? You know, and the older generation, they can barely figure out what an email is, you know, and how to navigate that. And so the issue there is the majority of regulators and a majority of the people that are calling the shots are the generation that have a complete lack of understanding of technology. And it's really hard to move through those processes when you have that barrier, right? And that's why it will take time. That's ultimately why it will take time.
Wait, what does that have to do with fantasy football?
Oh yeah, I didn't even go there. So we're in the fantasy football draft, and somebody who's in the draft who's mid-60s literally had the app pulled open and did not know how to draft their players. Okay. Right? They can't even figure out how to draft players on a very simple UI, right? Then they're not going to be able to understand highly technical things, most likely in regards to crypto and technology. And if they're not able to do that, then that generation, which is the ones making the majority of the decisions from a regulatory side, are probably going to be very, very slow in opening up those doors and lowering the roadblocks and allowing this industry to really thrive, right? It takes time. It just takes time.
Yeah, I'd say like the other side of that is that the generation below us, they're only ever going to grow up in a world that is like super technical.
Yeah.
Like I remember my first phone, man. It was like I was maybe like 11 or 12. It's like a little flip phone, couldn't do anything but call and text, like nothing. And the world that like my son is going to grow up in, he's only ever going to have like the craziest tech, like stuff we can't even really imagine right now. AI, super smartphones, maybe quantum computing. I don't even really understand that. Crypto mainly, like crypto will not be like a foreign thing to them. Our parents' generation is going to die off. The generation that comes next is probably going to be the one that actually spurs the adoption because it's so native to them, you know?
100%.
I think it's a 10 to 15 year shift slowly, but it's going to happen most likely.
Yeah. You know, and like all the old people that get frustrated, you know, and like throw their phones and break their computers. We're going to be that, but with robots, right? We're going to be, the clankers are going to be walking around. We're going to get frustrated. We're going to pull out the 762, you know, drop them. It is what it is, you know.
The clankers, man, that's so funny. That makes me laugh so hard.
Be like, you stupid robot, you can't make breakfast right.
Whoever
And then
came up with
our grandchildren are gonna walk in and be like, but you didn't tell it how you wanted your eggs cooked. And be like, oh, I should have known.
it should have known.
That's crazy. Oh. All right.
That's all I got today. You guys got anything else?
We could look at some strong altcoins, maybe. I know ENA has looked pretty decent. It's basically just the ETH chart, though. I think Hype looks decent. I think Fartcoin still wants lower.
I think Fartcoin's cooked, if I'm being real. I think it goes like
I'm just waiting for the forced selling on Fartcoin, and then I'm a buyer. Slow bleed out of a range doesn't really interest me.
You know what really interests me is Bonk right here.
How do you like the? Oh wait, sorry, never mind. Tucker's looking at Fartcoin.
What?
No, I don't think Fartcoin looks bad here. I think it could slow limp meat down a little bit more, but I don't think it looks terrible.
Is this gonna give me volume on this crypto chart or no? Probably not. Doesn't look great though.
No.
Let's see. That'll do.
It needs some help. It needs some help.
Forced selling, and then I think it's going to rocket back to maybe the new all-time highs, or maybe not all-time highs, but new highs like of the year. I think are definitely possible for Fart. I guess it did do the same thing. Our all-time highs and yearly highs are the same thing, but no, I mean, like I said, I'm just looking for a forced selling pattern on Fartcoin to actually be interested. Otherwise, I just think it's going to range. Right now, it's kind of suffering, I think, from like, for months, it was like, okay, I'm going to long Fartcoin because it's the best SOL beta, or because I think it's just the best meme coin beta. And there's been a lot more that's happened. As we know, Solana kind of like cannibalizes itself as far as attention goes. I think Fartcoin's been a victim of that. And it's also market made by Wintermute. So I know this is going to be one of the most manipulated tickers in the entire market. I keep going back to the range Bitcoin had in early 2023, where it made a marginally higher high and then wiped out the entire range. Had a very big puke from forced selling, and then it basically went straight up to new highs. I think Fartcoin is a candidate to do something similar.
Wow, Tommy, I see it.
But I want to see the puke. I want to see the puke on it.
Are you saying this is 16K right here?
Yes. Or like 15K, wherever we bottomed. I don't even remember.
15.8, yeah. I mean, you didn't really hang out down there, did you?
You did have that like period though where people thought it was the bottom because we were at range lows, but it was really just kind of like this weak pattern that turned into a forced not the 25-30K range. I mean the 15 or the 20 to 25K. So like right before it.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah, I want to see the forced selling on Fartcoin.
Right here.
Oh, you think farts are funny? Do you think they're funny at like 40 cents?
Oh, so yeah, you think we're
I feel like it's going to do something like that, but
Yeah.
that's just kind of my personal speculation.
50 cents. Could we agree on 50 cents here, Tommy?
I do think it will trade 50 cents. Yes.
He thinks below.
Yeah, he thinks. How
He's
about
being polite.
What is the
5?
bottom? No, I don't think 5 cents. That would be way too. I would not be a buyer of Fartcoin at 5 cents. If it does that, it's just completely cooked.
Dude, I think it's fried, honestly. Sub 100 mil.
Prometheus. Just can't help himself.
I can't.
Just cannot help himself. So sad to see. So sad to see. You guys flooding Fartcoin at the bottom right here. That's crazy.
Great.
It's insane.
No. I can't look at this chart and be bullish.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It really is. It's a rough look.
I can't.
It's a shame you guys are fudding the bottom. I hate to see that happen.
You got to get above $1.18 for me to be like remotely bullish.
You guys are doing irreparable damage to your reputations right now. This is the bottom fudders.
Bottom.
Barrelax and Prometheus, the dynamic FUD duo.
No, we secretly do text back and forth. But like,
you guys
could
probably
never-
just send each other like VIX fractals all
That's-
day.
Oh, it's VIX.
like, we could never show this to anybody
I bet
else.
Prometheus texts Tommy and he's like, "Hey, bro, I bet the VIX is gonna go to like 30." And Tommy's like, "I could see it. I'm kind of seeing more like 50 or 60." And then Prometheus is like, "Yeah, dude, I could actually see that. Actually, maybe more like 70 or 80." And they
That
just
is
go back
actually
and forth with their bearishness.
Yeah.
No, I know Dorito's been super bullish on unstable coin. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
It's like unstable stablecoin or something. I don't even know. It's just like when SOL trenches get like locked onto one ticker or they leave one ticker, they do not go back, really. Like it is very, very, very rare for them to go back. And I just think like you see, it's just Fartcoin's lost all of its attention it had. I mean, it was
This is
like
the
the ticker. Yeah, that thing looks
bracket.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, that thing looks insane.
Yeah,
Looks really good.
This is the whole chart. Yeah. Let's do that one. Whoa. I think that's probably right.
The only thing about a chart that reminds me of like textbook. Let me check.
The SOL pair. Whatever.
Oh yeah, I know what that
There it
reminds.
is. There it is.
That's the whole. That's yeah. Look at that.
Looks really strong. Really, really strong. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Somebody asked XRP. I think XRP's nearing a low. I think XRP is probably a good long candidate alongside like Link and Doge for the thesis I stated earlier. I think Bonk's worth a long. Airdrome looks really good.
Just so I'm clear, or you guys are clear. You're longing into the blood moon. I just wanna.
Dude, didn't the last one mean nothing?
No, it did. It had meaning. Hold on.
What
I
about
would
the
like
thing for the blood
Bump
moon?
into the blood moon.
Nothing ever happened though.
Yeah, it was somewhere in March, wasn't it, Tommy?
I think so. We kind of front ran it, if I remember right.
So are we front running again? Either way, you didn't really bottom. I mean, you bottomed in April, you know. So.
Tommy, let me just ask you a question. Are you calling for an event right now? Is that what's happening?
I will not explicitly call for an event, but there are a few charts that make me think an event is possible.
And I think that's a perfect place to wrap up the show for today.
No, it is.
All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed Market Check today. A reminder that we are live Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. If you enjoyed today's stream, our typical start time is around 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard. So you can catch us back on YouTube during those periods, and we will do our best to cook you up as much alpha as we possibly can. I haven't checked the like button. If you guys could hit the like button on your way out, we'd be very, very appreciative, though. I won't harp on it too much this afternoon, but also make sure to check out Market Talk, hosted by the legendary King Wabi. That is an X Spaces hosted through Wabi's account, as well as because Bitcoin X account. So make sure to stay following and subscribe to both, so you can be notified not just when we schedule those spaces, but of course also when we go live. Of course, we have launched some killer new products here over the last few weeks. Maybe you have not been paying attention to the market. Maybe you have, but rest assured, these are tools that are able to conquer both choppy regimes as well as trending ones, right? So if you're looking for an edge for potentially trading this market, lower time frame signals, you're big into leverage, we have just launched our Volume Fusion Pro Discord if you're interested in getting some access to some of the indicators that Max has been cooking up, the signals. They are beating the market. They have been kicking the market's ass, actually. So check out that Discord, guys. All you have to do is sign up for Blofin using our ref link, and you will get access to some of those signals and maybe some more coming down the pipe as well. So stay tuned for that. Of course, before we leave, I'm going to play a quick ad for the BB Terminal, guys. We did just launch our DGen page a few weeks ago. So if you're looking for something that can give you an edge on chain, make sure to check that out as well. Yeah, that's it from us, guys. We hope you enjoyed the stream. We'll be back tomorrow to discuss all things markets. We'll see if things get crazy or not before then. Maybe we're at the same price. We know how these things tend to go, but we hope you enjoyed the show as always. Thank you again. And of course, stay safe.
Tired of outdated trading tools, confused charts, dozens of tabs, endless stress? You're not alone. Introducing BB Terminal, your all-in-one command center for crypto trading. Track your portfolio, monitor the markets, stay ahead, all in one place. From chaos to clarity, from struggle to success. BB Terminal.